Hey, what's up guys? Will here. Welcome to Modeling from the Ensign's Chair, and today we have a science project. Or maybe it's an art project, I don't know. But anyway, so as I told you guys, I'm looking to getting back to working on my smoothie build. And when I left off, I was kind of working on trying to get the green coloring correct for the Strongbacks. Not so much the Strongbacks because they're going to be decals. Because there are no mass design kit for the Aztecs, and painting your different areas doesn't have the masks to do the Strongbacks for the 1537 because it's kind of small and intricate. But I do want to do the pylons, the blowout panels on the pylons, which you can see here. Because these decals, which I got from HD Model Works, and don't get me wrong, they're great decals, but these are too narrow and they don't quite cover the blowout panels on the 1537 model. So I need to try to mix some colors and try to get it close to the color of the Strongbacks, which are already a little bit washed out on this. They're not as vibrant as they are going to be with the paints, so I'm going to have to wash that out a little bit once I get to that point. But right now I'm just trying to work out the greens. And so I've got the Trek Modeler's paint guide, and it gives you the paints they use, but it doesn't give you the ratios. And if you're a guy like me that's not done a lot of color mixing and you're not sure which color to use to kind of change it to the hue you want, it does me absolutely no good to have that and not have the ratios to at least start off with, to try to get a mix. Fortunately, Gary over at Mass Design has been gradually putting out some of their paint mixtures that they're using, and I decided I'm going to give that a try, mainly because, again, as you know, if you've watched my original series Enterprise build, I've kind of dabbled in the craft paints a little bit now, and I'm really liking using the craft paints, mainly because if I screw something up, it's easy for me to go back, wipe it off, and then come back and redo it. But also because it's just an easy cleanup. You know, if I make a mess with it, I could, you know, I don't have to get the wife mad. I can go back and clean it up with some water and some soap, and it's not a big deal. So, some of you know, again, for my original series build, I used craft paints for my deflector dish, and it turned out really well. I was really happy with the way it went. When I did that, I diluted the craft paints with water, and it worked, but some people had made some suggestions to try some other stuff. So what I'm going to do is, I've got the craft paints that Gary recommends, or that Mass Design recommends, to use for the Strongbacks. And what I decided to do was try two different things. Now, I know using water to dilute craft paints tends to lead to some issues with it. It runs easy because the water is very thin, and you've got to thin it out to a point to where it will, you know, go through the airbrush without causing any clogs or that. So what I decided to do was I'm going to use, now some people have recommended using glass cleaner. So what I've got here is a bottle of invisible glass, and I'm using this because, as you can see, it's not blue tinted, it's clear. You know, your Windex and light, and I don't know that it's going to make a difference, but I really don't want to take a chance that the blue tint is going to affect the color any. So this has no dye to it. It's just a straight window cleaner, and I've marked a GC for glass cleaner. The other suggestion was to use Future, and you know, I've seen it used. You know, William Barton over on the Trek Modelers group on Facebook, he does a video. He has a video that he's done on using Future as a clear coat. So I've been wanting to do that anyway. So somebody recommended also that you can dilute craft paints with Future. So what I did was I went out, and it doesn't say Future anymore, not in America anyway, not North America. Some countries I think it does still say Future, or it still has the Future symbol, but now here in the US it's just simply called Pledge Revive It. So that's what I've got, and I've marked that cup. Don't take this the wrong way, guys, this is not a derogatory statement, but I've marked it FU, short for future, okay? So don't get crazy with that, all right? But you know, I'm trying to stick to basic elemental chart definitions here. So, so FU is future, guys. Don't go nuts. All right, but so along with that, now I've got those, and let me just pull it up here real quick. The colors that that Gary and Mass Design recommends for the Strongbacks. There's a couple different ones. They have got. They recommended a Craft Smart white, but I just went with a Deco Art white, and I looked at them and they're pretty much the same shade of white. You can get a couple different shades. There's a warm white, so don't get the wrong one. But they do recommend you get a Craft Smart white. The thing with the Craft Smart is I've only been able to find it at Michael's. It's not at Hobby Lobby, and I kind of want you guys to be able to just go to either place and get this stuff. So while they don't, while Hobby Lobby doesn't carry the Craft Smart, they do carry the Deco Art, and so does Michael's. So you can get it at either place. And I think they also carry the Delta, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute. There was one paint they recommended in Craft Smart that I could not find a close enough match to, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But so anyway, so the first color they recommend is a Desert Cactus. It's by Deco Art, which is this color right here. It's like a kind of a greenish color, and like I said, Deco Art Americana Desert Cactus. You can get this at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. The other one is a Deco Art Americana Sea Glass, which again you can get at either one of those shops. And then the third one is the white, which they recommend the Craft Smart white. I got the Deco Art white. White, it's basically the same shade of white as the Craft Smart, so should be good there. And then it calls for the Delta Ceram Coat Brown Iron Oxide, which again you can get at either store. So we've got that one. And then it calls for a Model Air Medium Yellow. Now, here's where the test comes. I want to try to keep everything craft paint. I'm going to try to keep it all craft paint. I don't really want to have to mix any of the model paints with it. So, what I've done was, I've got a bottle of the medium yellow that they call for, that Mass Design calls for, and I went out and color matched it. And this is pretty close to a perfect color match. I think it'd be close enough that we're not going to notice because it only calls for one drop of this yellow. So, but I'm going to test it out and we're going to find out. But what I did was I went and got the Deco Art Americana Primary Yellow is what I'm going to try. So I'm going to try both of those and see if we can tell any difference, which is why I've got 4 swatches set up here. So I've got the FUO, which is the Future Original formula that Mass Design put out. GCO, which is the Glass Cleaner Original formula. The FUA, which is the Future Alternate, which I'm going to do, which is going to be using strictly the craft paints. And the GCA, which is Glass Cleaner Alternate. So just to put that out, that's how it's working out. Don't get confused. I'll talk about it again later and we'll figure it out. Now there's a couple other colors that that they do request. I'm not going to be, but this is just for the base green coat that we're going for right now. Now later on they call for the sea glass, which I already showed, the white, and then they call for Model Air Pale Blue Gray, which is 71.046. Model Air Pale Blue Gray. So what I did, again, trying to do something to keep it just craft paints, I went out and I color matched it to Ceramcoat Bridgeport Gray. And they're pretty much a dead-on match for each other, so I'm going to do that as well. But that's not the base coat. I'm going to put the base coat first and then we'll try that. That's the step 2 there. And then they also called for a sand beige. Now, the Model Air Sand Beige, which is 71.244. My model shop did not have it in stock, and they can't even order it because it's out of stock at the supplier. So, without anything to go by, I know from looking at pictures that it's basically a light tan color. So what I did was I went out and I just got something that looked as close. In the picture it's hard to tell because your color correction and all that, but I'm hoping this will work. But that's why we do these tests, right, to see how it looks. So what I did was I went and I got Anita's acrylic craft paint, and this is just called Latte. Again, you can get this at either Hobby Lobby or Michael's, but that's Latte. So that's in place of the sand beige. And then we got one more color that they call for, which is this Craft Smart Muted Aqua. Now I went to the store and tried to find one. You can only get to, well, the only place I've seen it is Michael's, the Craft Smart brand. It's not at Hobby Lobby. Trying to find something that was at both stores. I tried to find a color in either the Anita's or the Deco Art or the Delta that was a close match to this, and I couldn't find anything that was a close enough match to me satisfactorily. So you may have to go to Michael's and get to get this color, but that's the Muted Aqua from Craft Smart, which, like I said, is at Michael's. So those are the paints that they recommend that we're going to use. And fortunately, like I said, the good thing is Gary breaks it down. He does it by drops. He tells you, you know, what the mixtures are. So, and the great thing about these colors is they're all in dropper bottles. So, excuse me. We'll get these mixed up. So the first thing they call for is 5 drops of the Desert Cactus, which is this Deco Art. Oh, not that one, this one, which is this Deco Art. So what I've got here is I've got some little plastic bath cups I picked up at Walmart. You know, it's like 98 cents for a whole bag of these, and they're great for mixing paints in. So we're going to take this, and I haven't even opened these up yet. So we'll get this open, pull out the good old trusty hobby knife here. And we'll get that open up. Shake it up real good. And again, this is calling for 5 drops. So, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so there's our 5 drops of that. And then it wants 5 drops of the sea glass, which is the other green one. So we'll shake that up real good. Again, I haven't opened these yet. I literally just got back from Michael's and running a dual trip to Michael's and Home Depot to get these. And we'll do 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. That calls for 10 drops of the white. So again, we've got our Americana, our Deco Art Americana white here. Shake that up. Most of these I've already shaken up. I'm just shaking them up again to make sure that they're duly shaken, and we need 10 drops of this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got 10 drops of white, and then 2 drops of the Ceramcoat Brown Iron Oxide. So one long one, and 2. All right. And then 1 drop of Model Air Medium Yellow. Now the first one I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix it the way that Mass Design wants it mixed. So we got 1 drop. But again, I don't think it's going to make much difference because it's 1 drop in all these other drops. So we'll do 1 drop. There we go. Now because these drops were a little bit bigger that came out of the acrylic, I'm going to do just a little bit, maybe a half a drop in there. There we go. Because I want all the drops to be equal. So, I'll take this and we'll mix it up. And what we're getting here is kind of a very kind of a whitish colored green. Alright, I'll mix that up some more, but I've got to mix what we're going to cut this with. But that's what we're looking like right now, and it might be hard to tell. Not the greatest light in this cup right now. So, alright, now when I previously diluted the craft paints, I had to do kind of a 70-30 cut with it, 70% water and 30% of the paint. In order to get it to kind of, you know, spray real decent through the airbrush. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to eyeball it, and I think first thing we're going to do is the future. And I'm just going to pour it in a little bit at a time and mix it. I might into that more than I needed to, but that's okay. Just have to do light coats. Alright, and that's what we've got, guys. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and put this in the airbrush, and I'm going to spray it on one of my swatches here. And I'm going to come back and do the same thing with, this was the future, so I'll come back and do the same thing with the glass cleaner. And then when I'm ready to mix just the straight, when I come back we'll go into mixing just the straight craft paints, okay, the alternate versions. So give me a minute, we'll come back and we'll see what we got. Hey guys, alright, so I got the first batch done with the original formula for Mass Design, and now we're going to mix the alternate formula using just craft paints. So we're going to start off with the same thing. Let's see, so we started off with the Desert Cactus. This is the Deco Art Desert Cactus. We're going to need 5 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 5 drops of our sea glass. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then 10 drops of our white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. And then 2 drops of our brown iron oxide. 1, 2. All right, and then instead of using the Model Air this time, I'm going to use the Deco Art Primary Yellow. So it calls for just 1 drop of this. And 1 drop. And we'll mix it up. Once we got that mixed up, again we're going with our FU Future formula, and put a little bit in there, mix it around, see what our consistency looks like. So you see I didn't put that much in as far as the future. So there's our little mixture there. But you see it sloshes around bottom of the cup. It just kind of clears right off of there a little bit. So now I'm going to take this out, put this in the air gun or the paintbrush, and spray this on, and I'll come back and I'll do the same mixture with the glass cleaner. And when I come back, we'll do a comparison and we'll see what everything looks like. Give me a couple minutes, we'll be back. Alright guys, welcome back. So I've got the swatches painted up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move the camera around here so I can get a better angle and get better lighting on this. So hopefully you can tell a difference, or if there is any difference in the lighting through the camera. The camera's not going to pick up the colors the best, but hopefully we can see whether there's a difference or not. But give me a minute, I'll put you on the table, we'll take a look. Alright guys, let's take a look at this and see what we've got here. So let me fix my GCA. Alright, so here's the color swatches, and right off the bat the biggest difference you can tell is our two future swatches have a bit of a sheen to them, and that's expected. It's floor polish. So using the paint, it's using the future, it gives it a bit of a glossy finish, and you can notice using the glass cleaner gives it more of a flat finish, not even a matte. It's basically flat with the glass cleaner. So when using these two, those are the considerations to make with it. You know, if you want more of a glossy finish to it, Future's going to be your way to go. But if you want more of a flat finish, definitely want to go with the glass cleaner. But overall, the colors are pretty consistent. One thing you can notice is it does look like the Future, between the Future and the glass cleaner on both the original and my alternate color swatches, it does look like the color's a little bit, maybe a little bit darker, a little bit lighter, I'm not sure, between the Future and the glass cleaner. And that could just be because of the gloss coat, or the gloss that the Future puts to it. But definitely the original, between the original and my alternate with just the craft paints, no difference. They're exactly the same color on both cases, with the Future and with the glass cleaner. So I think that definitely answers the question there. You know, is it going to affect it if I use just the straight craft paints versus the original recommended formula from Mask Design? So you know, I like to stick strictly with the craft paints because, like I said, it's so easy to clean up. And I think now what I've found out is that's possible. And also demonstrated that if you want to, like I said, if you want a glossy finish, mix the Future with it to cut it. If you want more of a flat finish, use the glass cleaner. So anyway, that's step one of the Mask Design paint for the Strongbacks and for the blowout panels. So give me a little bit. Actually, next week I'll come back and we'll try step two on these same swatches, and we'll see if there's any color difference with the like I said, I've tried to color match some other paints here. So I've got the pale blue that I've color matched to this serum coat, however you want to pronounce it, Bridgeport gray. So I think we use that in the second step, and we'll come back and take a look at that and see if we can get that to match up as well. So anyway guys, appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button below, let me know how it did, if you found any of this useful. And if you like what you see here and you want to subscribe, please hit the subscribe button. But you don't have to, but again, please hit that like button below, let me know how it did. And any comments or feedback are appreciated. So until next time guys, keep modeling.